God knows drink your water. I need to start right now. I mean, we've got to do whatever it takes.
Agree.
And try not to drink too much.
Yes, alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol. Yeah, we were sitting on the sofa last night, and I was just like, it's another glass of red wine. Yeah.
Hey, Liz.
Yeah, what's up?
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
It's like your favorite time.
It is my
of the
favorite time.
year.
And I dress just normally because the rest of the day will be a little bit of Jane Fonda, a little bit of Viking.
Yeah.
And a little bit of, I'm not sure what, but it's going to be it's a good day. So
It's a good day. So we are thing 1 and thing 2 of Be Powerful for Halloween for the podcast.
for this moment.
You right before we came on, you said, "What are we talking about?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine." Because you, little Missy, didn't sleep last night.
Well, there's a lot going on besides the fact that it is my favorite holiday of the year, which is Halloween. Not kidding.
We are in
but
the
this
final
one
push.
is more scary than it's ever been. Don't you feel?
Well, tell them what you're talking about.
Okay, so this is a problem for me. This phone situation. No, you're not going to. I won't see what time it is. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
See?
It's no.
Addicted.
Right.
gotta take a break.
Let me just take a breath. So one of us didn't sleep last night because one of us is obsessed with the news. And that would be me, and I'm the guilty party and very admitting to it. How many times have I gone, just let it wash right over you? Take your advice, Liz.
Yeah, please.
It's washing right all
Into
into me right now. So I'm going to have to take a little news break. Thank God it is Halloween. I don't know about you guys, but the anxiety level on this election has gone over the
River
hill.
and through the
I mean,
woods.
it's off the hook. It's crazy, and it's making me very anxious. And I'm going to sleep well tonight because I'm not going to have my phone in my face until 10 o'clock checking the news.
Right. So we are about a week away,
Yes.
or less, from the 2024 election, which has been a very interesting time in our lives. And it's not even about this candidate or that candidate. It's just about this influx of news and information.
And misinformation.
And to know what is real, what is not. A lot of divisiveness, a lot of hatred, a lot of confusion. And at this point, hopefully you are voted and done. Maybe if you haven't
Still time for early
gone,
voting. Lots of time.
Yeah.
Until what, the second they can early vote?
That's right.
So Halloween, what a perfect day. Go in costume. You might as well. It's scary there. No, it's not really scary.
No, it's not.
But
Stop the fear-mongering.
No, I know. And let me talk about that just for one sec. There is a lot of we all know this. Who knows what to believe, right? If you see it, you can't necessarily believe it these days because there is a lot of other people influencing what we literally are seeing on film. Some of the darker forces in the world are putting information out about the election that's simply just not true. So check your sources, whatever you are getting sourced with. And if you are absolutely sure you are correct, then check again. Because chances of you being correct about your source of news or what you're seeing happening, whether it be at the polls or anywhere in America, could be construed. And a lot of people have it in their best interest to misconstrue the visual of what's going on in this election season, whether it be voting or it be in other cities, or we're all out here. And you don't have to have your phone in your hand like I've had for the last 24 hours to know that.
That's the point. We've talked a lot about election and candidates and our rights and our freedoms, and we know where we stand. And if you don't know who you're voting for at this point, that confuses me, but hey, do a quick study and decide. But regardless of that, it's how do you manage stressful times? How do you survive the anxiety that's going on in the world around you? How do you keep health, mental and physical and emotional at the forefront? Because it's just been over the past handful of years where elections and democracy in the balance has become more of an issue. And I think the stakes are really high, and the result of this election feels like I could either be very happy or depressed in what's going to happen. And
Right.
so how do we move forward
Right.
and take care of ourselves in this time.
Right.
And you're doing a mediocre job, so maybe you want to talk
I'm not
about-
doing I'm doing a terrible job, I would say, in the last 24 hours. And that's why I'm saying that.
That's the reality.
The reality is I've got my shit together in so many ways. And I found it all over the place last night going, whoa, I can't sleep. This is because I could see all kinds of scenarios. And that is, we all know worry is just a waste of time. It is imagining a future that hasn't happened.
That's right.
We get to create our reaction to whatever happens in this election, whatever happens in this any day of your life. So when you find yourself doing that, as I did last night, because I'm a human being, I'm not always going to be on my game. I didn't spend enough time outside last night.
Right.
I didn't put my devices down early enough. I let my mind become the monkey chain that it became in the middle of the night that took me from tree to tree of disaster.
That's a really funny analogy.
Yeah, no, it's my monkey.
I get it.
Yeah, you get it.
I
You
get
can see it, right?
I can see it.
And, monkeys are never still. They are just jumping from tree to tree, and they are laughing at you if you're not paying attention. And they're getting your attention. So that was my head last night. And
yeah, and I think that's in a lot of people's heads, regardless of the situation, right? We're in the final stretch of election season. There's going to be a new season of life coming in, whether that's crazy holidays or whatever.
I love
else.
crazy holidays. See, that doesn't stress me out.
I know, but it does for
Yeah.
other people in
Okay,
different
true.
ways. So the point is, this translates to
Everything.
life. It just translates to life. And when the monkeys are in your head, giving you shit, what are you going to do? Number one, not a good night's sleep tonight. Okay, let's get through the day. Let's have some water, take a nap if you can, and go to bed. And you're going to
Have you
sleep
ever noticed
better
that
the next night.
that every time your thing is just have some water?
I honestly think
She
it makes
goes,
a big
Liz, you're
difference.
hungry? Have some water.
Yeah.
Liz, you have had coffee. You've had 2 cups of coffee. You need to have some water. You do that a lot. I'm just saying. And you're correct, by the way. I'm not saying you're incorrect, but you are a water carrier. You are a water proponent. She is all about water. Just continue. Go ahead.
Maybe we should get hydrated and come back another day.
Wait. I have my water right here. It's got my emblem on it. I'm going to drink some. on
Thank
camera.
you.
Go ahead.
Good. Now, did you get yourself up and write in your journal or deal with your frettiness?
No, of course not.
You just tossed and turned.
No, I
Wouldn't
did.
you
I
suggest
did.
that you get up and deal with your frettiness?
Yes, honestly, there's 2 trains of thoughts on the nights you can't sleep. There's a lot of trains of thought. There are a lot of trains happening the nights you can't sleep. Last night, I chose to get up and move around. Sometimes just the movement of my body, and I think all of us, you just have to pay attention to who you are. The movement, maybe doing something as mundane as folding towels or putting away clothes, or I started to write in my journal. But I knew if I started to write in my journal, my brain would lock into think mode. So my suggestion to me, and I will take it tonight, is to not, that's not what I'm going to do. And last night I didn't do that either. I went into the bathroom and I rearranged the bathroom the cabinets in my little area. It's
didn't
quite
know that.
nice today, and there can be some really good,
Good productivity.
in production that it happens after sleepless nights, but. Mostly you have to realize you're human, and even though you're older and smarter than you used to be, this is a worry for me, this election. And it's not because I want one or the other so much, and I do, but I
Sure.
want to make sure that my family, your family, all of our families are okay. And that we have a democracy at the end of the day, that we don't have civil disobedience and civil war and people, being so hateful. And you brought up a while ago, you didn't know how many years it had been since we had been having these divisive elections. Well, I do recall, because I was around, most of us were, during the Bush, Al Gore situation with the hanging chads, and that was a very close race. But Al Gore stepped away and said, here you go.
Right.
And that was the correct thing for him to do. Since 2016, when Donald Trump won the election, divisiveness has really maybe it's not Donald Trump, maybe it's just America. I don't know what's going on, but since 2016, when Donald Trump won that election, there has been divisiveness and hatred and spewing of untruths all over, so that people don't know what to believe anymore. At least Donald Trump this time is saying he's teeing it up to not believe that this election result will be correct unless he is the winner. And that's what kept me up last night. Not him, but what is the end result for my people, for all of our people in America? If half of America believes untruths or believes their version of the truth, which really isn't the truth. So I'm going to sleep tonight.
There you go. And I'm glad you got that off your chest.
Thanks.
And I think that's important to have, you know, a space in which you do, whether that's written or verbal or just on a walk with yourself, is just to process your feelings and let them come over you and to feel them and to give them a second and not give them too much power. What we've learned and we've always known and will continue to happen is that we don't have a lot of control over certain things. What we have control over right now at this point is, you know, our body and our autonomy for a second and our choices.
That's not guaranteed, is it?
Our right now ability to vote, and we hope that that stays, and how we take care of ourselves and others. So regardless of which way an election goes, regardless of what we hear on the news, it's about finding ways to manage the stress. Even if it's not full front in your face, sometimes I feel like the subliminal stresses in my life, the ones that are a little more quiet, that stay all the time,
the chronic stresses,
are a little more degrading. They're a little more difficult than like a larger stress that's like here's the problem, here's the solution. Well, that was hard and we can move on. The ones that we don't deal with, that kind of are that train with the monkeys in it, that are constantly bouncing in the back of the head, are even more detrimental.
Right. No, agree. That's chronic stress. And it doesn't have to be a big deal.
Right.
But in this case, and I will go back to my concern in the middle of the night last night, was my direct concern. It is when you don't have bodily autonomy, when you don't have the ability to make a decision for yourself. Because right now, I always say, your power comes in your reaction to what's going on, or your lack of reaction to what's going on. But that's because I have freedom. I have freedom that I can speak my truth, myself. I can be authentically Liz. I can be a woman and know that I am in a safe space. Right. And my fear is that could be taken away from me. And I don't think that is a drastic, outrageous thing to say right now, because if you have read Project 2025, it's all laid out about exactly how that's done. And that is the Republican course during this election. And we'll see what happens. And I'm not intending to run with my tail between my legs if it does happen.
Then we have to.
But then you've got to really be strong.
Right.
Then you've got to really, really be on your game when it comes to reacting to what people are bringing at you.
Mm-hmm. I know it'll be a whole interesting ballgame, and I know that what we can do is get involved. I think this is an election in my life that I've been the most involved in, speaking about. You know, I have a son now who's a voter, talking to him about it, seeing what he thinks and feels and understands and is getting from the news, and, you know, getting involved locally with candidates and
how does he feel?
Fundraising events.
I mean, is he listening? Does he hear it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good.
And I think that's really important, that I'm not saying vote this or that. I'm saying listen to this, hear this. Yeah. How do you feel? What does that make you believe?
And critical thinking. And I think that's the thing about education.
Yes.
And which is also on the ballot. Education is on the ballot. The Republicans do want to really in Project 2025 do away with public education. So that's they're on them. That's they wrote it down. Not sure why they published that pre-election, but they did. So educating yourself to understand, to critically think, to be able to figure out what is real and what is unreal. And that is hard, very hard to do. And I am not at all blaming anybody voting Republican or Democrat for being misinformed, because there is so much misinformation being fed to us that it is very critical that we practice critical thinking. And it's hard to do that without education, without proper education, and not everybody is getting that.
When push comes to shove, you've got to look around at your community and figure out where you can help. So whether or not it goes A, B, C, D, or some other
RF.
way, there are still local, regional, statewide initiatives, groups that we can support and be a part of.
We can support you right here. I mean, honestly, it might come down to people in small groups and small communities and sisters or brothers that you can, meaning groups of people gathering together to support one another, because our goal today was to come on and give you ways to sort of process and deal with this whole thing. And as we're talking about it, we are struggling just like you are. And so to have someone that is holding your back when you're falling down or falling apart that's the true humanity that I think this election is also giving us the opportunity to practice. When we have something that seems so scary and so frightening, just like life sometimes throws at you, and you have the choice to practice fear, stay up all night worrying with your monkeys, or to practice embracing the opportunity of the love that is there, that can rise above and can conquer it. And I think that happens in community where one or two or three people are joined together. And that's what we'll see is through this. And I would say that would probably be the biggest thing, even more than the going out for a walk in the sunshine. I really think we need each other right now because we're so filled with concern and outright fear. So
yeah, and I do think when this is all over, today, Halloween, going down the streets with your friends and neighbors.
I'm so glad it's Halloween.
When you look around, like, we're so much more the same than we are different.
Yeah.
And we all have the same, generally, struggles and worries and fears about feeling loved and accepted and taking care of our neighbors and having healthy bodies and, healthy children and healthy friends and family and wanting to be successful and want to leave a legacy and want to do good things in the world. And so I think, once we get over this hump, it has to be about treating each other,
bringing us back together
in that way.
No matter what. And we said that in the other podcast that we did about this. We have to accept these results, and we also have to start really loving each other and seeing each other like I get real amazed, like, oh, that's one of my best friends. She's going to vote for Trump and she's a woman. How does that work? Don't know. But I have to respect her.
Yeah.
And I have to ask her, just like I asked me, just like, let's look at this whole thing. First of all, I hope we all vote for democracy. But at the end of the day, we're not here to pit each other against each other. Once it's done, it's done. And then we will work from wherever we are. That's how we got to America anyway. We're thrown into this mess, and then we just made it what it is. And we just happen to be going through a hard time right now. But it's an opportunity. It is an opportunity, regardless of who wins this election.
I know, and it's even little things. I was speaking with a friend today about the culture that we've created and the way we're raising our children. This is not election-based at all, but the same type of thing, and how we don't know how we've gotten here. For example, a travel soccer team.
Yeah.
And the trip got canceled because, unfortunately, it was in Florida, right in Bradenton, Sarasota, where the Hurricane Milton has just hit, and maybe the fields were good, but the hotels, aren't getting food, and the restaurants, and there's more tow trucks and the power outages. And I knew this wasn't going to happen. And sadly, it was a bit of a relief, like, oh, we don't have to do this again. And I was talking to a friend whose daughter was doing the same trip, and she has 4 children. So the way their weekends go and their events go, it's so much more amplified and stressful. And the impact that this path we've taken has put on our families is really interesting. And sometimes you need a big shakeup to reset, to
re-examine. What are your choices?
Are
these choices smart? There's a whole thing right now about the anxiety of parents and how bringing children up right now, this is a mental health crisis for parents. So that you're speaking to that right now.
Right.
But the shaking things up when we just fall into this. I love my Be Powerful shirt, but I love more sometimes my one that says status quo is for losers. And I just threw that out at a luncheon one day when we were around some clients and people, and Lingua Franca put it on a shirt for me. And it really is. We need to shake up the status quo and not accept everything. It's just like, well, yes, we all just have to fall in and do this. No. As a matter of fact, the resilience of our brains and the resilience of our bodies and our resilience of ourselves, our souls, is all about putting ourselves in that uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Or that, let's think outside the box. You don't even have to be that uncomfortable to do that. You just don't take it always and swallow it and go, that's my lot in life.
Yes.
It's not.
Well, another small but mighty, especially for her example, is your granddaughter just turned 13. And her parents are holding out on
her phone. Yes.
And, she acts like she's the only one without. We know that
she is,
not,
but that's okay.
Not all the way. And I respect your children for making that choice to not just go with the flow, and to know what's best for yourself, to know what's best for your children, for your mental health, even if it isn't what everybody else is doing.
I'm glad you brought that up because
every time they're around, you go, you should get a phone.
No.
And I'm like,
stop it. I do not do that. I do not do that. I was just getting ready to come down on the other side.
Well, you say it for her, like you have empathy for her, so you kind
of course I have empathy.
But you know it's the right decision.
Can I speak?
No.
Okay, excusez-moi. No, I am very supportive of my daughter's decision to not have her 13-year-old have a phone. We gave, a couple weeks ago, her 13-year-old birthday party. We finished up the pickleball. We finished up the lunch, and they all had opened up the presents, and within seconds, the phones came out, and heads dropped, and they were on their phones like this, except for Aubrey, my granddaughter. And she kind of looked around, and my daughter and one of my daughter's friends were there. And we went, all right, let's go see who can do the best cartwheel. I think Clary said that just to get them to move. But they immediately fell into this thing. And I was like, I could see how she could feel.
Absolutely.
Very, very left out. But also I'm kind of proud of her in that she's not rebelling. She's accepting it. And she seems to be accepted by her friends, if that's any encouragement to other parents out there.
Right.
I, as her grandmother, want her to be happy no matter what.
Yes, and that's what I meant. You were empathizing
with
her wanting one. Yeah. But you, of course.
No, I have to, I'm
it's
standing.
Not your decision either.
It's not my, thank God it's not my decision. That's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, your kids already have them, but I encourage you guys to really Call Clary. She'll talk to you.
And I think it's understanding all of this really ultimately is about a version of resilience.
Right.
Like the anxiety that we feel, the worry that we have about anything, and then watching children generally more than us being a little bit more resilient in the way they handle.
Right. And by the way, the kids that are on their phones, I was listening to, I'm doing a book on tape about brain energy because that's the kind of thing I do is listen to books on tape about brains.
Like we should have, I wish we could put one of those bubbles over your head for this and just see, there's like trains on tracks and like monkeys hopping in trees.
But I mean, I'm glad we're bringing up the word resilience because that is a problem for younger kids now.
Right.
Not just younger kids, but even 18, 24. Right. They're doing the studies to see if it's just the screens, but their resilience of kids, they can do anything. You can go, well, when they're going to move to Africa and you're going to live on a farm and eat whatever all day, and they'll do it. They're resilient, but they're losing a little bit of that for some reason. So there's a lot of studies going on, but I think some of us can look at phones and maybe imagine that could have something to do with it.
Right.
And fitting in, it's like everybody when they're young wants to fit in. Even when you're old, you want to fit in.
Yes.
But now, if you haven't seen the latest TikTok or the latest this, that, and the other, again, I read another study that said it takes 20 minutes to get children addicted to TikTok.
That is
20
nothing.
minutes. It's brand new. There's a brand new thing out. I'm like, 20 minutes. Well, what?
Isn't our producer back there, Kristen, so glad that she gets all this with her 2-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
check. No phone.
Yeah. So Anywho, and I actually have TikTok, but I don't do it. I mean, I don't like look at it, right?
Except with your granddaughter.
Well, that's because she wants to. And
TikTok grandma.
It's the moment she has with her moments. So anyway,
Mothers can do whatever they want.
we
Digress.
We digress a lot in this podcast, but we really have here. But it's mostly about protecting our mental health during this election.
Yeah.
And just protecting our mental health, period. And I think what we got to do is we got to put whatever it is occupying our time constantly, whether it's your phone, whether it's I'm going to stick to this schedule for my 8 children, whatever it is, and just say, excuse me, it is time for me to take care of myself. I need some deep breaths. I need some sunshine.
I need some water.
I need some... God knows, drink your water. I need to start right now. I mean, we've got to do whatever it takes.
Agree.
And try not to drink too much.
Yes, alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol. Yeah, we were sitting on the sofa last night, and I was just like, it's another glass of red wine. Yeah, so be careful.
Watch that.
Yeah.
Watch that.
But we're going to be okay because we are, as a society, as a country, resilient. That's who we are. How the hell else did we get here? Put our stakes in the ground and say it was our country, and the indigenous people were like, excuse me? And then we went, nope, this is us. We're equally asshole and we're equally resilient, okay? That's America for you. So we need to vote, and we need to keep our freedom.
And if you have it,
so that we can be an asshole or we can be
if
resilient.
you're not going to, then just fuck right on off after it happens, because you don't get to say anything about what happened.
That's right. Yeah, and if you're a woman, just vote. Just vote. If you're a woman of any rank, 18 and up woman, please vote. Please vote. That's all we care about.
Happy Halloween?
Yeah. Wait, it's Halloween. Okay.
Spooky
So we
season.
gotta get out of here, and we've got to get. Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna be a Viking.
Viking.
I'm gone. I've already done Jane, so I'm gonna do Viking.
I can't wait.
I'm an amazing Jane Fonda. I do her every year. But it's time to change.
It's time to go.
to get the hatchet and the shield. Take some blood.
God. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah. Let's go. All right. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Love you.
See ya.
Bye. Do you love me back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did I not say that? Okay. I love you back. I love you back. See you next time. Thanks for listening to us today, wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, you can now find our podcast on YouTube.
Yeah. If you liked it, please share, rate, and review. We love 5 stars. And we hope you'll work out with us online or in studio at HilliardStudioMethod.com.